Konnichiwa and Assalamualaikum to my dear lecturer and fellow classmate. Today my group member and I would like to present on Kaizen costing. Before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nurnadzreen Binti Ridzuan, and I also would like to introduce my other group member, Diah.
My name is Muhamad Farhan by Abdul Rashid.
Hi, my name is Ainaa Fadhilah Binti Kamaruddin.
Hi, my name is Fateheh binti Muhamad Diah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Konnichiwa. Hi everyone. Today we will learn about Kaizen costing. Introduction for Kaizen. Kaizen is one of quality improvement approaches that originated from Japan. The person who is responsible for making Kaizen famous is Masaki Imai. In a simple way, Kaizen means continuous improvement. First company that use Kaizen is Toyota. Nowadays, many companies apply Kaizen, such as Lockheed Martin, Great Western Bank, and Herman Miller. Even non-profit organizations use Kaizen, like the Mayo Clinic. Let's look at definition of Kaizen. In the slide, we can see Japanese kanji, which is a form of Japanese writing. We have the word Kai, which means change, and Zen, which means good. If combined, it will form Kaizen, mean change for good. Okay. In detail, Kaizen is defined as change for the better or continuous improvement. Kaizen involves all levels of employee, whether from top management to line production worker. Next, Kaizen focus on quality of products and services, zero waste, and customer satisfaction. Kaizen also want to improve on all part of their organization. Lastly, Kaizen prioritize cost reduction in production stage. Before I explain further about history of Kaizen, I need to include an important historical event that occurred in World War II, which is atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The bombing led to casualty of 200,000 people. This event also led to unconditional surrender of the Japanese Empire. Okay, why I explain this? Because it is related to Kaizen. Because after World War II, American occupation forces bring their expert to Japan to help restore Japan. They introduced a training film which is improvement in 4 steps. The film focused on small improvement, not radical changes due to lack of resources. This is the birth of Kaizen in Japan. Okay. One of the pioneers of Kaizen is Toyota, which create the Toyota Way. In 1986, Masaki Imai founded Kaizen Institute Consulting Group and published the book Kaizen, The Key to Japan Competitive Success. This book popularized the concept of Kaizen to the world. Okay, there are 5 principles of Kaizen costing, which is everyone's opinion is valued and considered. Second, concentrate on waste or loss elimination. Third, teamwork in quality circle. Fourth, strong personal discipline. And lastly, there is always room for improvement. To proceed with our presentation, I'd like to invite Ainaa to take over our presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Adib. Next is about the comparison of Kaizen costing and standard costing. It also explains the uses or purposes of these two types of costing. First, the goal of Kaizen costing is to achieve cost reduction standard by manufacture a product below the standard cost, while standard costing system generally aim to meet the cost performance standard which is set by management. Next, Kaizen costing tracks the cost reduction standards monthly, where variance analysis is carried out at the end of each period to compare the actual cost with the target cost reduction. Meanwhile, the cost performance standard by standard costing are set annually where it compares the actual cost with the standard cost. Moreover, Kaizen costing investigate and respond when target cost reduction not achieved, while standard costing investigate and respond standard not met. For Kaizen costing, it assumes that continuous improvement is possible and should be carried out, while standard costing assumes stability in the manufacturing process. Next is 5S of Kaizen costing techniques. 5S is a productivity method derived from 5 letters of Japanese words where it was intended to organize a workspace for efficiency. First is Siri, which means sort. It categorizing items based on their necessity by keep the necessary in work area and cut off all unnecessary items from the workplace. Now, the organization is left with only the necessary items. Next technique is Seton, which means set in order. There should be a place for everything and everything should be in place. All necessary items should be placed in specific location to ensure efficient workflow. For example, the place for each item should clearly label and the most used equipment being placed at the most easily accessible. Next is Seesaw, which means clean, where it describes to maintain the cleanliness in the workplace. It is essential to make workplace always tidy and clean. A daily follow-up cleaning also is necessary in order to sustain improvement which lead to efficient working environment. Next technique called Shiketsu, which means standardized. It refers that work practices should be consistent and standardized by setting standard to ensure the consistency in the workplace. It ensures that everything is maintained in order and according to its standard, where everything in its right place and every process is followed as according to the standard. Last technique is Shitsuke, which means sustain. Once the previous 4S have been established, the final one is to review and maintain the standard to ensure the company is updated. For example, regular audit should be performed and training and discipline should not be ignored to ensure it do not go back to the old ways. Next, I will pass the presentation to Nur Fateheh.
Thank you, Ainaa Fadhilah. Now I will proceed with the ways of lean. First of all, what is waste of lean? Waste in lean is any activity that consume resources but bring no value to the customer. More specifically, it reflects to any expenses or effort that is expended but which does not transform the raw material into the item the customer is willing to pay for. So there are 7 types of waste of lean. The first one is transportation. Transport is moving material from one position to another. The transport itself adds no value to the product, so minimizing this cost is very essential. Excessive movement of material can be costly for every business, and this also will cause damage to the quality. Transportation may force you to pay additional for time, space, and machinery. If company does not take any action, it will expose to the conditions such as gas emission and possible damage to the product. Secondly is motion. This kind of waste include movement of employee or machinery, which are complicated and unnecessary. It may also include excess physical motion such as reaching, lifting, and bending. All unnecessary motion result in non-value added time and increased cost. Besides that, excess motion can cause injuries, extended production time, and many more. Therefore, company need to arrange a process where worker need to do a little as possible to finish their job. Next is inventory. Inventory is considered a form of waste because of related holding costs. This is because company overstock their stock in order to meet unexpected demand, protect for production delay, low quality, or other problems. However, this excessive inventory often does not meet customer need and does not add any value. They only increase storage costs. So the impact of the inventory waste are waste of packaging damage additional material to replace the damages or obsolete inventory, and many more. Therefore, every company needs to purchase raw material only when needed and eliminate the definition of safety stock in order to reduce this type of waste. Next is waiting. Waiting is referred to wasted time because of slow production in one step of the production chain while a previous step is completed. For example, in the production line, if one task has taken longer time for an employee to finish their part, then other employee in charge for the next task spent waiting is wasted. If they not take any action, material can be spoiled and component could be damaged because of an inefficient workflow. Therefore, the tasks that take more time must be made more efficient. For example, company can hire more employees to help, or workflow must be better coordinated. Okay, now let's proceed with number 5, which is overproduction. This is the most serious type of waste because overproduction causes all other type of waste and result in excess of inventory. Overproduction occur when they making more than required by customer or they make it earlier than required. The problem with overproduction is not only create excess of inventory, it also require extra storage space and extra employee requirement. Not only that, stocking too much of a product that goes unused has required more cost and wasted of material. Next is overprocessing. Overprocessing refers to any component of process or manufacturer that is unnecessary. This means employee exceed actual or normal requirement when working on the product. Essentially, it refers to adding more value than the customer required. This will give impact with the excess of part, labor and raw material consumed in the production. Besides that, time, energy and emission are also wasted when they are used to produce something that is unnecessary in a product. Lastly is defect. Defect occur when the product is not fit for use. It refers to a product deviation from the standard of its design or from the customer expectation. This typically result in either reworking or scrapping the product. Both results are wasteful as they add additional cost to the operation without delivering any value to the customer. From all the Kaizen benefit, many companies want to implement Kaizen in their organization. Therefore, here are 7 steps to implement Kaizen. For the first step, it involves the employees. The involvement of employees is very important because they also need to participate in decision making and problem solving. The company needs full cooperation from their employees, and communication between management and employee is very critical for the successfulness of an organization, so that all the levels in the organization can work together to achieve their goals. Therefore, it is very important to involve employees from the first step. For the second step, to implement Kaizen, they need to find problem in the organization. For this step, all the feedback must be taken and this include the employee participation. They need to list out all the processes within the organization which needs to be improved. For example, all departments such as Human Resource Department, Marketing Department, Finance Department and other areas that face the problem must enhance and must be improved by the organization. Next, for the third step is think and find the solution. In this step, they need to contribute their idea because more brains are much better than a single brain. For example, manager can make a team of creative employees who have more experience and this employee can be focused on problem solving. They need to contribute their ideas and in creative manner in developing solutions to the issues that the organization face. The employee should not think too quick about the solution. They need to take enough time in applying technique to generate their ideas. For the fourth step is implement. In this step, they need to create a positive atmosphere and attitude in implementing the plan. Implementation must be done in a planned manner. Before implementing it in the organization, if the idea need to grow a little further, then they need to develop more. That's why a plan and control implementation is very important for an idea so that the result can be tracked. For the next step is check. From this step, we need to evaluate the result of the action performed in order to verify the actual level of the improvement. They need to make sure that the implementation is carried out at the ground level in order to the outcome result to be as expected. Besides that, they also need to check whether the problem has been removed or no longer recurs. For the next step is standardize. In this stage, if the outcome is good, it means that the business is improving. In order for the organisation to operate more efficiently and effectively, it is necessary to standardize the process across all the departments and all locations. This is to ensure that the gains are sustained for the organisation. By standardize, it can improve morale because it can save time and manpower. As a result, employees feel more happier and more productive. For the last step in Kaizen is repeat. So Kaizen become a culture in the organisation to eliminate waste and to improve processes so that everything is run in well-oiled manner. Kaizen empower the employees and build positive teamwork so that the whole company can search for more changes for the best of the organisation. Now I will pass the presentation to Nurnadzreen.
Thank you, Nur Fateheh. Now, let's look into the advantages of Kaizen costing. First of all, implementation of Kaizen costing able to improve customer satisfaction, which it is a customer-oriented technique which focus on providing better service to the customer. Kaizen costing encourage the company to produce the product that match the expectation of the customer. When customer enjoy the product, there is possibility of customer will repeat the purchase and bring more profit to the company. Next, Kaizen costing will boost the continuous improvement as its objective to emphasize on improvement and betterment of the product, process, project and the organisation. So, the company applying Kaizen costing will always find a way to make improvement on their product, project, organisation and standardize the process to ensure the company sustain in the industry. Thirdly, Kaizen costing promote a positive work environment for the employees and the management, such as sharing canteen and the dress code, which part of work culture in many organizations. So the employees will not feel intimidated as they were treated the same to other employees. After that, Kaizen costing help the company to control the waste reduction. Everyone in the organization, including management and staff, must identify areas that constitute waste in the business process. By implementing constant changes, they can determine the root cause of wastage and fix them. So, waste can be abolished from the business process and increase in profit. Improving safety on the work floor is one of Kaizen advantages. Safety is improved when business implements say-so that promote to clean up and organize workspace. By doing so, employees have better control of business process, equipment. Employees are also encouraged to make suggestions to improve safety on the work floor. This helps to minimize accident and other related injuries. Hence, employees become more efficient and manage their time properly. However, safety is responsible for management as well. One of the major Kaizen advantages is improved teamwork. Kaizen is a quality improvement tool driven by teamwork. It does not benefit only a selected few, but everyone involved in the business process. As the Kaizen team solve problems together, they develop a bond and build team spirit. Thus, employees are able to work with a fresh perspective and unbiased mind and without prejudice. Okay, this slide will discuss on three major disadvantages which are difficult to implement in existing system, training requirement and enthusiasm could wane easily. Let's proceed with the first disadvantages of difficult to implement in existing system. This is because implementing Kaizen is tantamount to altering current management system. It is very difficult to return to all management system as soon as Kaizen is introduced in an organization. Therefore, in organization without already developed management structure, Kaizen could be simpler to introduce. Another Kaizen disadvantage is the training requirement. The Kaizen costing requires training staff and management to understand and adopt the Kaizen philosophy. This would cause the normal work process to be altered. Employees should have time off from work to attend training. Also, in addition to their regular training, workers need to attend Kaizen training. Thus, they may find it tedious and demanding. More so, the time allotted for training may not be sufficient for employees to grasp the entire concept of Kaizen. As such, employees may not be willing to implement a concept they do not understand. Lastly, enthusiasm of employees could wane easily where they might be excited at beginning phase. However, their excitement could lose when the changes become difficult to adopt. As such, they may resort to old practice and stick to business as usual. Hence, the time and resources spent to implement Kaizen are wasted and the purpose of implementation Kaizen is defeated. Now, I will discuss on challenges of Kaizen costing. The first challenge is Kaizen is seen as a short-term project while Kaizen is emphasized on long-term improvement. Although the concept of Kaizen is quite simple to understand, it is difficult to master and will need more time before it is fully understood by all employees. The main problem with the implementation is that companies expect a quick turnaround, but when the Kaizen does not achieve the objective, companies simply assume as it is a failure. In reality, benefit will start to be felt in the small scale before slowly propagating throughout the organization. Second challenge is no support from the top management. When a company decides to implementing Kaizen costing, everyone in every level must take part in successfully implementation of Kaizen costing. It is no point when only lower level management put on effort to implement the costing. Let's move to the recommendation. Here are 3 recommendations to improve Kaizen costing. First and foremost, the management should conduct a seminar or training to all of the employees before implementing the costing. It is because every people in the organization should understand and able to participate in the changes. Second recommendation is all of the employees should play their own roles to ensure the implementation is successful and all of the effort will not be useless. The management also should encourage the employees by giving rewards to those who provide idea and apply Kaizen principle in the day-to-day operation. Okay, now let's look into the application of Kaizen costing by Toyota. Toyota is one of the company that apply Kaizen costing in their production process. For your information, Toyota is a biggest and well-known automotive company in the world from Japan. They are the first company to implement Kaizen costing and has been using this approach for a decade. Kaizen costing helped Toyota to improve the manufacturing process, quality product, and the workers. This is how Kaizen helped the production of Toyota using the 5S. The first one is sorting, where Toyota tries to reduce the useless thing by planning what they need. They will eliminate all the unnecessary things to ensure the production is smooth. Second S, or set in order. Toyota consider this step to ensure each item should be easy to find and use. Therefore, Toyota will identify mostly used tools and place them in a specific storage that are close to workplace in order to save the time. Shine involves the cleaning part that will take place every day. Cleaning process is being done by Toyota not only for company cleanliness but also as the responsibility to the environment. Fourth S is known as standardized, where it invites people to make all of the above steps as a habit. Toyota responds to this by creating awareness about the importance of 5S and give their employees clear rules to carry out. Finally, sustain that speak on self-discipline. At this point, Toyota ensure all the employees constantly apply 5S and they look to improving day by day. Another company that apply Kaizen costing is Nestle. Nestle is a Swiss multinational food and drink processing conglomerate corporation headquarters in Switzerland. The company used the Kaizen costing technique for attaining lean production, and the approach was stated as Nestle Continuous Excellence or NCE. Do aware that Kaizen is focusing on continuous improvement, while lean production aims to reduce the wastage. In this process, Nestle addressed its problem of wastage and time consumed in the production to improve the efficiency of the company. Less wastage means incurring a low cost, better profit margin, high output, and proper utilization of resources. Nestle was able to reduce wastage in the production and also successfully decrease the time consumed in the manufacturing of the product, in which a company able to have continuous improvement. As a conclusion, implementation of Kaizen costing is always the best management system of bringing continuous improvement in all areas and reduce costs. Kaizen ensure the company is operated on the right track and able to generate the best profit. The success rate of Kaizen costing is quite high, as we can see through Toyota, Nestle and Honda. However, applying Kaizen principle might need to change the whole structure, but it is for the company betterment. Therefore, companies that aim to reach the international market should apply this principle for better efficiency and effectiveness. Here is the reference that we use in preparing Kaizen costing. So, this is the article. I think that's all from us. Thank you.